Here. Hey!
Wow, you're late.
Oh, excuse me. That was gross. Hey, you're up. You're loud. Good. Whatever. What's today?
Today's Saturday.
Today is Saturday.
That's right.
I should know that because we're live. So.
Oh, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey guys, and welcome to the show. We're sorry we're about 10 minutes behind here.
Oh wow, 10.
It makes everyone feel better. I was talking to Jeff about when we're going to have him on the next time. We didn't come to a date. We want to wait till it's probably sometime next month. So we'll get him on next month because it's March, April. We'll get him on in April. Next weekend, while we're here and we're all tuning in, we're going to be late. We'll talk about this some more as the week goes on, but next weekend the show is going to be at probably 6:30, 6:45.
Next weekend?
Yeah, because Saturday is our Knowledge Fest class.
Right.
And that goes to like 6:20. So it'll probably like 6:30 before we're here and ready to go. I'm awake. Is it June already? I know, right? No doubt.
Yeah.
But anyways, that is how that is going to go down. So next Saturday we will be late. It will be intentional. We'll talk about it more as the week goes on. Because we like to do that and everybody likes to talk. But how's everybody doing out there? How's everybody's week been going? We hope you guys had a good time. Hopefully today's stream will go off without a hitch.
Yeah, everybody's fine. Everybody's good.
I'm not holding
Rockford t-shirt. Oh, T-series. Oh, t-shirts.
Oh, hold that thought, guys. We'll do it one at a time so we don't look awkward. I forgot. We have a show sponsor today that we needed to switch our t-shirts for. So.
And this show is brought to you by.
If you want to know why we're late, is this thing up and running?
Yes.
Hold on. It's not running yet.
It's not
okay.
running yet.
We'll show it. Fernando's car. That's Fernando's car. It's the lab. We've been working on that this week.
Yes.
What have we been doing, Fernando?
Nothing. Not at all. No, we actually put like hang on. Like you guys see in the Instagram, we put the Morel hybrids on the car already. And right now, my idea was to bridge the 5-channel amplifier 1 and 2 to the mid bass, 3 and 4 to the other mid bass, and use 2.300 for the tweeters. So that's what we do today.
Yeah, we thought we were going to be able to turn get the gains and everything set up real quick, and that didn't happen. So,
yeah, no, not at all.
As always, when you're like, oh, we got like 10 minutes, let's do this real quick. So
it's just quick.
Don't worry, the video will be out next week. We have the full unboxing video going on of of his G35. And we got a bunch of videos for next week. So next week's gonna be a real busy week. 57
today.
It's not. It's like 80 here.
It's 80 here. Yes.
Hey guys, hate to keep bringing it up, but can y'all give me a call back? Something that Javelin gonna be super cool install. Trying to plan vacation. I will talk to Paul next week, man.
Listen, definitely, because I know he's been trying to call constantly.
I've been making calls all week. I don't know. I mean, I'll hold on. Let me write it down.
No. I'm gonna take a screenshot and then I can.
All right. Well, there again with your snazzy screenshot.
Well, what do you like? Let me write it down. I think we lose.
I don't have the mouse. You have the mouse. Stay sponsored by Maestro. Today is sponsored by Maestro. Thank you for noticing. I know, how is it possible you could have missed that one? For those of you that have never had any fun with them, alright, so if you need a car, if you have a car, what are the odds of that happening? You need to put a radio in it, or you're trying to put a system in on the factory radio. Make sure you head over to Maestro at Maestro link. So it's maestro.idatalink.com. Honestly, just go to maestro.com or go to idata.com or just type in Maestro in the Google search bar, and you want the green page. So when you find the green page, the first thing that they're going to ask you is select a project. Amplifier radio replacement. This is the easiest way to find out if they make anything for your car. If they don't, sadly, I know it's going to suck, but if they do, you definitely want to buy it. As you work through, so let's say we do amplifier replacement. Let's take the make. We'll pick a Ford. We'll say 2020. We'll pick a model. Hey, conveniently, Mustang. And then we'll go without amplifier, 9-speaker stereo, select that. I wonder who's got one of those. I don't know. And as you scroll down, it'll give you the option to do either Maestro AR or Maestro DSR1. So you have options there. If you want to go AR, that puts you into the Audison, Arc, Kenwood option. If you want to go DSR1, that gives you the DSP and or preamp, depending on how you want to run your system, and you can do anything you want with it.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, a lot of people get confused about the DSR1. They assume because it is a DSP, you have to use it as a DSP. It's not the case. It's still a very affordable preamp section. It honestly costs about the same money as an Amp Pro. The advantage of using it as a preamp is that it does have a 7-band global EQ built into it that you don't necessarily actually have to use, but it's there. There's a lot of fun things you can do with the DSR1, but you can use it as an 8-channel preamp output. That's right, 8-channel preamp output.
What's up, Jason?
So,
hey man, thank you. Thank you for the pad. That's awesome.
You need a pad?
Yes.
It's 45. Hello, gentlemen. Dean, don't lose your morale hat when going topless. Right now I'm rocking the
Ground Zero?
Yeah, so here we'll give you a alright, check it out.
Robert Hoy!
Next month.
What's up, Bobby?
Next month when we on the news, we got Ground Zero hats to give away. So we got a couple we got 2 Ground Zero hats, we got 2 Ground Zero mugs, we got some Ground Zero lanyards
four lanyards
to give away. We just got some new Morel stuff to give away, so we have 2 Morel coffee mugs. So if you guys aren't watching the news,
you should.
You should watch it. Over on Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips is where we keep the news. We do it Monday morning. I'm sorry, we do that every Friday morning at 9 o'clock.
Yes.
It's a good time. The news is good.
What's up, David?
So.
And dropping some money, El Fuego. Thank you, man. $5. Check out the Boring Live for the story.
Oh yeah, if you want to know about the new car,
Yeah.
I forgot about that. The new cars. That was this week's Boring Life that went up this morning at 9:30. We release the Boring Life videos every Saturday. So if you're like, man, I don't want to talk about. So here's what I was thinking about the other day. We'll get to answering questions. We obviously you guys are queuing it up. We're all having fun. Monday is us at whatever. Tuesday is Kicker. A lot of guys watch that. Wednesday is Big D and Hi-Fi.
Thursday.
Everyday audio is in there sometime, what day they go on. And Thursday is Hi-Fi and my show. By the time Thursday rolls around, I feel like our show needs, the show we do, him and I, needs to be the way it is. Like, we've been having 3 days up to that point of nonstop, over-the-top car audio Q&A crap, all right? When Thursday rolls around, we're going to talk about car audio, but we kind of do it a little bit looser.
See, and I think that's the coolest thing about that show that you guys do, because you guys don't start like just right away. Like, all right, so what are we going to? No, so you guys talk about anything.
I think it's nice. I think we all get to hang out.
Yeah,
we're all a bunch of car audio nerds, and we just have some fun and talk about neat stuff. Love the news show. Too bad my wife called every morning.
I'd rather.
And
like, can you call me?
But see, that's the nice thing. Then, like, Friday morning, you wake up, you get that break on Thursday. And Friday morning, you wake up and you go right into 12-volt news.
Yeah.
And then Saturday, we're here, and it's like, it's the last show of the week. We talk, we answer some questions, we all learn some cool stuff. It gets us prepped again for tomorrow, which we're going to, veg out, do whatever we need to do.
El Fernando, what's up, brother?
And then it starts over again Monday.
Well, the next time she calls, she's like, hi. At this moment, all representatives are assisting another clients. Please stand in line. Right? No. Hey, call me in 30 minutes.
Man, the 2018 Rogue Sport is a way different. Hold on, where did that go? Way different car, especially for the steering wheel controls.
Yes,
it is.
And it's
so the nice thing is that we were able to work with Metra to figure that out and verify that it functioned. So now everyone else that has a 2020 or whatever will be able to put steering wheel controls in it without having any. What you planning on your car for bass? So the plan for the Mustang for bass is going to be a couple things. We are going to make it a lab, but we're going to make it a high-end lab. But we have a lot of steps before we're actually going to get to that point. So there's going to be multiple stereo iterations that go into it because we have a lot of things. It's AR compatible, as we just saw looking at the laptop, which means we have all those amplifiers we mentioned to play with, and we would like the immediate thing that we're going to do to the car is we want to get the Audison Prima amplifier in it. For those that aren't familiar with the Audison Prima line of amplifiers, they were designed specifically to do what we want to do with it. Meaning we want to take the factory amplifier out, we want to plug this thing in, and we want to retune the factory speakers and make them sound better, because right now it sounds terrible. But as you can see, it's a nice small amplifier. The cool thing about this is this amplifier has the ability to adjust the voltage that it consumes so that you can use the existing factory wiring. So if you have like a BMW or something like that where there is already a power wire back there, or in this case there's going to be an amp, most of the time there's a factory amplifier in there, you can use that factory amplifier's power by dialing down the wattage output of the amplifier. Now, nobody really wants to do that, so smart money is to just run an 8-gauge power wire to it, because how hard could that be? But this is what's going to go in there first. As you can see, it only draws 30 amps of current. It's not a big, but we get the 10 bands of parametric equalization. It just allows us to do a lot more with it. This will enable me also to add a subwoofer of some kind. So we're going to play with doing that. Maybe adding like a Rockford P300 in there or something along those lines. We don't really know yet. So we're just gonna. The whole idea behind the Mustang, though, was because we have the ability to do so much with it. We want to make sure we take advantage of that and put out a bunch of cool content to help everyone else learn more about car audio.
Dean.
Yes.
ACM 4.300 bridge, 150 RMS to a set of the Virtu's 3-way components.
Huh. Okay, I mean, it would work.
Yeah.
Just happen to have
one
right here from Fernando's. He just took this out of his car.
Yeah.
Why didn't we just bridge this?
So the reason why is because it's 150, like he said. It's 150.
Yeah, you only
and
want
those tweeters are loud. Now, like we always say, you're not getting 150 watts for those tweeters. Oh, I'm not getting 75 watts on those tweeters.
No, you're gonna get about 5.
Probably,
maybe 4.
Maybe. So, I just want to run 75 watts. And that's it, because in my mind it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, because I mean we had 120 on them and they were whoa, way too loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with yes on that one. I believe you'll be fine. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't do that.
Somebody say, Dean buys a car for the stereo, not stereo for the car.
No, it was 100%.
Yeah.
Buying this car,
that's the purpose.
There was 2 reasons why I bought this car. One, I wanted a convertible, because I've always wanted a convertible, so this gave me the opportunity to buy one. 2, it had to have the outboard amplifier with the 8-inch touchscreen so that we could do iData Maestro products in there. Yeah, because they have the MFT1 kit that allows us to, which I just so happen to have one over here.
Thank you, TM Taco, for the $5, man.
They have the MFT1 kit, which is this, which is made to go directly into, you can pull out the factory 8-inch screen, put this in. We've already done a Mustang with the 8-inch, with the 10-inch Kenwood in it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ready to do that in this car just quite yet, but it's capable of doing it. So we have a kit that we can replace the radio if we want. And then also, what the thing I'm more interested in is having something AR compatible, because as time goes forward, being able to test amplifiers and products that have AR built into them from iData is going to become more important. Like, for example, audio control is, like, he's sending me the cable to use their products in AR, because they're one of the amplifier brands that was doing AR research and integration with AR. So being, as Maestro is, iData is a partner of ours, being able to fully test their products and their partner products was very important to me. So, yeah, there we go.
All right, Sean. Yes, I agree with you. He say I would recommend better amplifier actually and go full active on that set. The ACM 4300 is decent, but I think you leaving a lot on the table.
I mean, there's always the option to go full active.
Yes.
There's no question about it. Not everyone is comfortable doing that. Some people just want to get sound in their car and make it sound really good.
Yes.
You got to remember, guys, that there's a lot of different ways to do a lot of different things. All right, and car audio is not one road gets you to there. There's a lot of roads that all get us to the same point.
Yes.
Not everyone, and this is the thing you have to trust me, and it's hard for me too because I want to make sure that every experience everyone has is the best of the best, but not everyone is going to have that. So, as a 6-channel active fully I don't know, I said that backwards. As a 6-channel fully active system, going to be the best for that? Of course it is.
Yeah.
However, there's a budget in mind.
Oh,
so
yes.
that particular set of speakers is not a particularly expensive set of speakers. It is, but it's not. Okay. So running it the way he's asking to run it, I'm beginning to build in my head what he's willing to put into his stereo as far as how far his wallet is going to open. You always have to keep that in mind. One of the things that, why didn't you guys do this and this, and why didn't you put that and that, and why didn't you?
Yeah.
Because there's a budget.
No,
there's always a budget.
Always been like that. You know, like for us, or actually for me, I have the opportunity to play with a lot of stuff. You know, but it doesn't mean like, yeah, you should do this. Yeah, totally, you should do that. The wallet is not deep enough for now, so just wait. And in the future, I mean, you can change it to like a 6-channel or a 4-channel and bridge the 4.300.
So just to comment on the Mopar thing, I drove a Dodge Ram for 17 years, so I spent my money on them.
Yeah.
You know, the Camaro, they got me for 8 years. How would you make the 4-channel of my stock Camaro stereo into a 2-channel so they could go into my 2-channel kicker key lock? You wouldn't. You wouldn't do that at all. It's not how that works. 2-channel in, 2-channel out. There's no reason for you to integrate in the rear channels. You pick a left and a right, preferably the front, and that is all you use. The rear is putting out the same signal as the front in that particular situation, so there's nothing going on. Sometimes when you have an amplified system where there is, let's say, a 3-way set, which typically that means that the 2.5 or the 3.5 and the tweeter are on one channel, because in most factory systems that's how they do that. And then there's a mid-bass channel, so that would be 4 channels up front. That's when you ask that question, how do I get that into a key lock? And the answer to that question is you'd actually need an external summing device that would take those signals and sum them together. And then you could go into the key lock for de-equalization. So that would be how you would do it.
All right, now... go ahead.
If you want to do front to rear fade, as in you had a 4-channel amplifier, then you would need 2 key locks. But you have a 2-channel amp, you don't need front and rear to feed that. You just take it off the front and call it a day.
Now we talk about the key lock, right? So, Renan has a recommendation for a component speaker's power, the Kicker Key 204, active, only front doors. What would you do?
So I have a kicker key for a front door?
Yep.
I'm going to go with something that has a high efficiency. Okay. So like we know the KS sound wonderful sounds really on them.
Nice. Yeah.
For those of you that caught yesterday's video, we took Haley's key and we put it on, we did a front full active. So if you want to see how that works, go and watch Friday's video. That was what that was about. And I said to her the other day after we got done with it, after filming it, I said, you know, when she drove to work the next day, I said, hey, so what did you think? She goes, oh my God, like it's so loud now. And she was mad at me. And I was like, why? Why are you mad? She's like, it was just loud. It was louder. And I was like, okay, like calm down.
Just turn it down.
Ooh, problem solved. So something along those lines. Like I feel like,
I mean, the Kicker KS
the KS would do the job really well. If I have to branch out, like okay, so I'm thinking like either Dichis or Centos if I want to go exotic. Dichis or Centos. The plug and plays from Morel. I'm sorry, the plug and plays from Coaxial.
Yeah.
The performance or the what do they call that whole line below the access line.
Yep.
The integration line. The integration line on Coaxial or any of the plug and plays.
Maximus.
The Maximus.
The
Maximus.
Yeah.
6.5 component set from Morel would work really well. You could go into the there again. Some of these speakers are price point out of what you're trying to do, but the Prima would work.
The Prima will work.
The Prima will work really well.
Yeah.
I
think it's now we start talking about budget. Like, okay,
what
do we have for the budget?
Well, that's why you said, like, if you look at, like, the Maximus, the DTs and Centos, the KS, you could do Kenwoods, the Exelons would work. So any one of those, there's plenty of that, but look for something that's pretty efficient. What front coaxial speakers do you recommend for a O2 GTI on deck power? There again, any one of those that we just mentioned, any one of those brands would work spectacularly.
Yeah.
If you're just looking for a coaxial, I mean, honestly, your best deal in coaxials are Pioneers. I mean, you get a nice set of coaxial Pioneers for a pretty reasonable amount of money. Or check out, like, deck power. I check out some. You want something that, there again, works off low power really well. It's pretty efficient. So, I mean, the DGs worked really well.
The DGs
worked just off deck power.
I was just very surprised how the Morel Maximus. See, it's like Maximus.
The US is just the 6.5 component set. So that's all it is. So the US and then the O's is the whole product line. What power range do you guys like on Morel Tempo Ultra 692 component set going active? Anywhere between 70 to 100 watts. I mean, we've done the kicker key on it, and it's worked. The 204 would work better than the 180.4. But so it's like we've also, you don't need to go too big. I mean, obviously in my world you can never have enough power. So it's like immediately when you say, "What would you do?" I'd be like, "Okay, well, what is the other system you're going to do?" I mean, you could run an LC 5.1300 on it and be happy, be extremely happy. Like, way happier than, like, that's a lot of freaking power on those. The nice thing about that amplifier, though, is you do have a high-pass crossover for 1 and 2. You have a band-pass crossover for 3 and 4. And you have the subwoofer output. It would make a great front-stage subwoofer amplifier. The D series with the DSP will be out probably end of next month. And then that'll be a great amplifier, too. And you'll have 2 channels of output if you want to go and do something in the rear. So, like, if you want to add, like, an ACM 2.300 or something like that. But
something like that.
I mean, there's or get the depending on, so you'd need some form of DSP, but you could go with the Morel amplifier. Personally, all right. So all right. So we did this in a Toyota Tundra year ago or so,
probably more
where
than
we
that.
took those speakers and we took the Morel amplifier. We went passive. Okay, we went passive because they're really nice crossovers. All right, and you have the attenuation on the tweeter, so you're perfectly fine doing that. But we took the Morel 5-channel amplifier and bridged it to them. And we did one 12-inch sub behind the seat, the Rockford P300, the same thing. The Rockford P3 shallow 12 behind the seat, and then we bridged that amplifier to the 692s. That gave them like 125 watts a side. Man, that was rich.
That was crazy.
That was because that's right around the time when we started doing those, I think. And it was like, holy shit.
Oh, yeah. Just like that. Yeah. All right. So right here it says...
Thoughts about the Morel amps. They're freaking awesome.
Oh, they're awesome.
Do I still have those in here?
Yeah, right there. Somebody say, what are your thoughts on the GC Neo speakers? Well...
I mean, we're going to hold that until we actually... Because we have a set of the uraniums coming
just to see
to do a whole review on. So let's just hold that thought until we get to that point.
Yeah.
But for those of you, for those of you guys that are like AB amp crazy, like I gotta have AB for life.
Yeah.
these guys right here, these are your best value AB class amplifiers that are high quality you're going to find.
Yeah.
All right. I don't care. These, you cannot match the AB quality. The price point on these is just stupid. They have 3 amplifiers. They have this guy right here, which is the 404. So I believe it's 75 to 80 by 4 of AB power. Remember, it's AB. And then they have the mono, which is 500 by 4 or 500 by 1.
No, 7.
I think. Anyways, they have a mono, and then they combine the 2, and they make the 5-channel. So they have 3 amplifiers. It's small. Love it. Small, simple, but yes, these, man.
Yeah.
So the reason they sent me these was because originally they sent me 3 of these to go on the 3-way active set. Or no, they sent me 3 of these because I was going to do 1 on the tweeters, 1 on mid, center channel, and rear fill, and then they sent me the sub amp. So I know, right? And I was like, okay, it's a lot of power, but
Why not?
now, you know, but it'll eat them, so it'll eat them up and make them feel really good.
Yes.
But anyways, yeah, so there you go. Best bang for the buck for sure. US Acoustics, Barbarian, smoke that thing. Okay. I mean, if you're into the smoking things. I don't think they'll design their own amps in-house. Actually, they do. They have, they're in, first off, Morel isn't US based, they're Israeli based. They do have engineers. They are working currently on the new amplifier lineup that they introduced the end of 2019. I think we're going to start to see those because he's already had prototypes and they're already out in the wild.
Yeah.
Some people have already, they have people testing the prototypes right now. We are not one of them. Bummer. But yeah, so the new line of amplifiers are going to be like DC straight style amplifiers.
Yep.
With a switch. So yeah, they actually, they're not, they are a build house for a lot of speaker manufacturers, but they build their own stuff. But they don't, obviously they don't build their own amplifiers, but yes, they do design their amplifiers.
All right, let's leave the AB alone for a little bit. In my 2019 Tacoma, can I catch the door speakers from the dash speaker harness, or do I need to catch them at the kick? I'm thinking going full active on my focal components.
So is it a Tacoma?
It's a Tacoma.
So it's not a Tundra. So
It's a 2019 Tacoma. So
Tacoma.
the Tacoma goes right here.
It's in the dash.
Right?
Yeah, I think the loop is in the dash.
Yeah, the loop is in the dash.
The
so
loop
you
is in the
have
dash. So Toyota does things really, really weird. Do you have one of those harnesses? Didn't we get the new one?
Yes.
Where'd you put them? So Toyota always uses some form of a loop, where even though they have multiple speakers, didn't we get the new ones from Metro?
Yeah, and it's like, that's that.
So I was hoping for the Metro one because it doesn't have more wires on it. Where did you put them? You don't even remember where you put them.
Question.
I didn't hang them over there. I told you to hang them over there. They're not over here. You lost them already? Dude, we just got those in.
Dude, and that's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of clips.
Yeah, I know. Anyways, let's get back to Toyota. Why Fernando figures out that he lost something. There's a loop. So if the tweeters are in the dash, they're going to loop into the tweeters in the dash and go out to the mid bass. If you grab them in the kicks, those will be the wires going into the doors for the mid bass. So, or you could just pull the mid range out of the top and catch them there. So if the 2 mids in the top of the dash, then you just go to where the 4 wires come in and
Did you hide them?
Did I hide them?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, hang on.
Now if the tweeter's in the door, well then you got to run new wires.
Well, David will love to do that.
I'll cut you.
We have the Steve made knife right there.
Sorry.
It's Kevin the barber.
Yeah. Apparently
All
needs a haircut. There we go.
All right, so hang on.
I just want one of them. All right. So here's what we're talking about. As you can see, there's 4 shiny silver things in there. All right, those are the inputs and outputs. So you'll notice on the back of the plug, you have the looped wires. These looped wires. So you have two wires coming in from the radio, and those are your signal going into the speaker and the dash, and then those are going to loop out and go to the speakers into the door. So it's input. Now if you just go into the dash, you can grab all your speaker wires there. That's why these are long like this, so that if you wanted to cut these, you can do all kinds of neat stuff with them. But
if you're looking for loops,
that's the new part number that they just came out with, the 728110
from Maestro.
All right, so there you go. Hope that helps. And if it doesn't, 2020 non-JBL Tundra. Can I fit a 6x9 or the new 7-inch Kenwood? Yes.
6x9?
Yes, you can fit the 6x9
or the 7-inch.
Non-JBL. You could go with the Kenwood set. So you could do the Kenwood. So if you're talking about like the Kenwood mid-bass, I would totally do that over the 7-inch.
Well, that's the 7-inch.
Yeah, I would totally do the 6x9 though.
Huh.
Yeah.
6x9, right?
Yeah, the 6x9 with the 2-inch. Yeah, that would sound way better. I mean, trust me, that.
I just want to hear that new 7-inch.
Yeah, I know, but I know that the other one sounds good, so I'm not like.
All right, Oscar Gonzalez, thank you for the 5, man. Can I use a 4-gauge wire to split 2 JLs 404 in a JBL bass Praha? No, I would don't. No.
No.
No, I mean it's a 4-gauge.
Oh, I'm gonna take your word for it.
2 JL 404s. No, you will need definitely a 0-gauge and then the distribution blocks to a 4. Okay.
Hold on. When using two-way coaxial speakers, does the woofer part of the speaker have an integrated crossover, or does the tweeter only have the integrated crossover? That is going to 100% depend on the speaker manufacturer, because in some cases there is a crossover for both the mid-bass and the tweeter. In some cases there's just a crossover for the tweeter, but that does not mean that the mid-range plays full range. They use natural crossover points or roll-off points in the design of the speaker to make them perform like they had a crossover attached to them. So don't assume that a speaker is full range because you don't see a cap or a coil or both attached to it. It's going to have a natural roll-off point that's probably somewhere close to where they have that tweeter crossed over. Sometimes the manufacturers will hide the crossovers inside of the baskets underneath the spider. Rockford does that with their Punch series. That's why their basket looks kind of weird, because there's a cap and coil in there for the mid-bass. They also roll those speakers also have the tweeters wired 180 degrees out of polarity with the mid-range, because the crossover points mimic each other, and because they're on top of one each other, meaning that they're that close, having the tweeter 180 degrees with the mid-range avoids any problems with phasing and roll off and sound missing and all the other fun stuff. So there's a lot of work, believe it or not, that goes into designing a high quality coaxial. It's not as simple as just like slap a tweeter onto the mid-range and like roll out. Some of the higher end runs will have outboard crossover networks attached to them. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. All
right, Fly99, thank you for the 5, man. Could you use the Morel 4-channel amplifier bridge, of course the 200x2, on the Morel 6x9 Tempo Ultra 692 components, or is that too much?
No, I mean that's essentially what we talked about when we were saying the 5-channel amp.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I actually wanted 5-channel amps, but they were out of them at the time, so they sent me the 4 channels. So I was like, oh,
yeah. All right.
But no, that'll work. Yeah, totally. I really think they didn't hook it up right. They have 2 fuses, 2 fuses.
All right. I like his name. Eat my turd.
Eat my turd?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for the 5, man.
I'm new to car audio. 2019 Camry, Yesi, non-JBL, 100 amp alternator. How many watts would you think I'd be safe without going with a second battery? These aren't okay. If this was the 90s and early 2000s, that would be a very simple question to answer, because at that time, most amplifiers were about the same efficiency, meaning you would put an amplifier in, it's designed to work at 13.5 volts, it's going to be like 60, maybe 50% efficient. Really inefficient amplifiers, they're going to draw a shit ton of power to make half the power of the wattage. So it's like it's drawing 1,000 amps worth of power, but it's only putting out, it's drawing 1,000 watts worth of power consumption to put out maybe 600 watts of power. The newer amps are way more efficient.
Yep.
So that means that you can get away with a lot bigger power, much smaller size, and not have any electrical issues. It's a wonderful thing. So it really comes down to the quality of amplifier you buy. So, for example, if we go back to the Morel amplifier, this is an AB class amplifier. It's rather large. It's not the most efficient amplifier on the block, okay, because it's AB class, but you're going to get that AB class sound if that's what you're after. Compare that to...
Which one are you looking for?
Rockford. Which one of these has Rockford?
Yes, we sell the L70s or the Q class. We have them. We also have the Ground Zero kits. You just gotta call Paul, and he will ship it to you.
This will work for what I want to do because you buried everything. We still gotta organize this, guys. So.
Oh yeah.
So this is an 800 by 5. Okay, so this is 800 by 5, a Phoenix Gold. This is 400 of 4. So this is 400 watts. This is 800 watts. All right? You see the difference here. All right? It's still 800 watts. It's 100% 800 watts. It's not like it's not. This has 80 amps of current draw to produce its power. You can put something like this in your car, power your whole system off of it, not have one bit of problem with your electrical system. That's the difference. So how much power could you put in the car without having any issues? It's the brand and the quality of the brand that you're buying. That's all. So this is a really nice amp.
It is.
If you're interested. Yeah. This is the MX 800.5. But we have it because they took the bottom off of it and they broke the ends when they did it. So they're like, hey, you want this? We're like, yeah. It's good show and tell. You can see the insides of the amplifier. Input stage. Input motherboard. All right. Anyways.
All right, Dean. In the Explorer video with the DSR1 and the DFO2 harness, Mark from my data says that the firmware will do start-stop. Has been pushed to yet?
No. The idea behind it was, yes, it can do it, but then they needed to grab it somewhere else. In order that data bus has to be separate from the data bus that they were using behind the radio. It doesn't communicate that way. The module is capable of doing it. So they're in the process of designing a second harness, or they were going to design a second harness so you could plug it all in. I don't know where they're at on that one yet. So if I was to guess if it is still going to happen, it's going to happen towards the end of the year, more so than now. The RRs are also capable of turning off stop-start. If you're replacing the radio with like a DFO MTF1 kit, there's now stop-start on and off built in as a feature. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, it's supposed to happen. At some point I'm sure it will, just not yet. I will say this, we did run into one issue where we did a Zen A to B and we did a Metra stop-start, and the two of them did not like each other. It freaked that freaking car out like crazy. So we ended up having to take out the Metra stop-start because the two networks were just not talking to one another happily. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to find something to say about like Zen 9.
Hold on. Do you guys have a step-by-step of how to turn OEM brackets into custom mounts using CAD programs for laser CNCs? I mean, they're not like that would be what it's labeled, but there are plenty of videos that we've done that kind of walk you through our process of what we do. I mean, at some point we can probably do a standalone. We just didn't know how many people would be interested in that because it's like the pay to play on that one is kind of high. So I will say the secret to it though is having some form of a flatbed scanner that you could scan in the speaker on, and that is, you know, that's about it.
There you go.
But
No. Jason. Jason said David posted tops are not great. You will be better doing a poke and rub or solder the wire. Yep. All right.
We should do that real quick. Do a poke and wrap just to show people. Go ahead, ask your question.
Have you ever had the opportunity to compare the Mob Bridge?
No, not yet.
With the NAV TV? I'm about a month away from purchases.
Yeah, no.
And I'm trying to decide which one is better.
Yeah, I know. I trust me. Yes, I want to know that myself too. We just haven't had a chance to test those yet. So poke and wrap. First off, let's switch to the Fernando cam. All right, we're gonna switch to the Fernando cam. Show you guys what a poke and wrap is, and it's not what you think, because you get really good. First off, if you guys don't have strippers like this, man, this is just not going anywhere. Poke, wrap, strippers. Okay, you should get a pair. You can find them on DNF tool drawer. Strip off the end of your wire. Okay, that's a gimme, right? You're gonna do that somehow. But let's say you have a wire run through a car. This is a 12 gauge. I picked this because this was easy to see. You could strip down to an 18 gauge doing this, and if you're real careful, you can do a 22. But you put the wire in there like this, and you just easily spread it apart. All right. So that gets you this. Then take like a pick tool or something. We're gonna take the Steve Mead knife, and you poke a hole in there so it looks like a needle. Take your end.
Hang on.
Oh, hold on. I know. Hold on. All right. Take your end, come through the hole, thread it through the hole like such.
Stick it in the hole.
And then wrap it around. And just keep doing that until you have the poke and wrap. If you have solder at this point, you put a little bit of solder on there. It won't go anywhere. If you don't have solder at this point, it's not the end of the world. It's not going to go anywhere. It's a nice tight wrap, and it's the nice thing is if you're when you go to pull out whatever it is you're pulling out, you just unwind it and do this, wiggle the wire a little bit, put your finger on there, roll it, and you put a little piece of tape over there, and you haven't hurt anything, you haven't cut any wires, you haven't done any damage to the car. If you're really skilled, you could sit here and like do this with the wiring and sometimes stretch the sleeve back over.
Sometimes, but
you can do this. Yeah, sometimes. Not all the times. But yeah, it just depends on
flexible. No, you're not gonna do it on the car because it's like you probably ripped the whole.
Well, yeah, you don't want to go crazy.
Yeah, no.
But, I mean,
just put a piece of tape. Done.
Yeah, see, like I put it all back to normal. So
you're amazing.
I wouldn't go that far. I'm just eating.
Yeah. Who said? Hang on.
I'm hanging on.
I thought it was a rub and poke.
Well,
actually, it's a split.
Oh my God, Jesus.
Poke and wrap. No? Okay.
You're terrible.
Can I use a JL Fix 86 to integrate into the OEM radio, then add a 4-channel amplifier, and later add a Tweak 88 to complete the system with the sub?
Yeah. I mean, the Fix 88 is designed to go in there and just do that. So, I mean, if you have a standard stereo that has the amount of inputs in it that will handle, the idea behind it was that you could go in, put that in, do the de-equalization, and get yourself a preamp. Then you were supposed to buy the Tweak to go on top of it. That's why they're labeled the way they are. The whole thought process behind those was that you would buy both as needed, but they separated them because not everyone needs a Fix and not everyone needs a Tweak. For example, if you're doing like a VXI amplifier, you might need a Fix to feed it. You already have the Tweak software built into the VXI. Or if you're not buying a JL product and you just want a Fix to do this, and then another product to think about also is the kicker key. The key lock will do very similar functionality.
Put your phone right there, real quick.
Oh, I want to see how big the ACMs are?
How big is
Fernando cam!
Right there.
There you go. There's the old iPhone sitting on the 4.300.
It's not the old, it's the new.
It's just a phrase. It's not the new. It's not the new.
No, really?
No, I don't have the new. They haven't. No, this isn't the current one. This is a generation behind, bro. I don't roll like that,
oh,
man.
wow. I still have the iPhone 7. That's why.
Yes, whatever. 2017 BMW 900 Cardin. Are the Focal plug-and-plays worth the high price? Or go with the $80 Kicker KS or Polk? Hit me, bros. Actually, do you remember the name of that company we did? Bravos or Bravos? There's another company out there we just did a whole BMW upgrade in where Bavard.
No, it's not Bavard. Ah, dude, and I saved that car.
Just Google factory BMW upgrade speakers. I'm sure they'll come up there because I mean literally they're on my Instagram page all the freaking time.
Yes, they are.
But they're very reasonably priced. You buy it per car, and they're designed to work with factory systems. This was an older 5 Series.
Yeah, it was an old 5 Series.
It was an older 5 Series, and thank you, negative 3dB. That's
yes,
Bav
exactly.
Sound. Bav Sound.
Sean,
thank you also. Check out Bav Sound.
Negative 3dB. Yes, thank you.
If you're looking for an upgrade in a BMW and you're not ready to go Focal price point, but you want better. They was a total hit.
Better than the factory.
And the nice thing is, dude, they do their freaking research. Let me tell you what, man. They had everything in the kit. Like the tweeters were different sizes, and like, dude, everything just plugged in. It was freaking hilarious.
And they have some of this. They have a videos on actually, so you can watch it.
Tones or peak noise? Both. You gotta have both. If you want tones and peak noise, because don't we all, go to your app store if you're on the iPhone and get the Educar Test and Tune app. Ooh, here's all your test tones, and this is why you need both, and here's your pink noise. So not only you have pink noise, you have left of center, right of center, and then you also have bass pink noise, mid-bass pink noise, mid pink noise, and treble pink noise. So you can do all kinds of fun stuff here. And then you have more test tones here. A lot of funness. So yeah, you gotta have both. Because hey, man. Oh really? They do Supra and Mini stuff too. Well, the Supra is a Mini. I mean, the Supra is a BMW. So I mean.
The new one, yes.
Yeah. Downfiring sub or shallow mount for sedan trunk. Here's the thing. When it comes to subwoofers, as far as first things first when adding a subwoofer to a car is what are you doing with the car, all right? If you need your trunk space, like it's like, man, I want 412, but the reality is I have XYZ stuff that needs to go into the back of the car, that has to be a priority. Like you have to live your life, all right? So once you've figured that out, then it's time to move on to the subwoofer. Obviously, 110 and a ported enclosure in the corner is going to put out a ton of bass and make most people happy. You could go up to a 12. There again, with a nice grill in the corner, lots of bass. But that still might take up too much room. We have people, it's like, dude, I don't have that room. So what we do in those cases is, yes, a downfire subwoofer enclosure. Kicker has their new Comp RT downfiring boxes all made up, ready to go. They sound phenomenal. We'll do those. We also have... one of the companies, A-Trend or somebody, makes a downfiring rhino-lined box, both in a 10 and a 12. We buy those, and we'll put whatever sub we want in there. Kenwood makes a downfiring subwoofer enclosure now. Kenwood also makes their factory boxes, which I think we had on the show a couple weeks ago, in the Exelon line and the non-Exelon line. That is a freaking awesome subwoofer enclosure. Something else to think about, because what's really cool about it is tall, but it does a lot of neat stuff. But it just comes down to space. What are your thoughts on IB setup to keep trunk space? If you have the time to do it, and you can do it, IB is wonderful. But keep in mind, every time you add something into the trunk, you're decreasing the amount of airspace. It still needs airspace. It still needs to breathe. But you also have to make sure that you 100% seal the front of the woofer off from the back of the woofer. They can't share the same airspace.
All right, and now we're talking about space. Hi from Netherlands.
Hi.
Question: does it make sense to use a power pack Alpine as a preamp, and then use an IB amplifier as the main amp via RCA. I mean, you can do that.
You can do it. All right. I wouldn't. First off, I wouldn't, because that's why. Buy a better amp. You know, just get a better amp. Kicker, when they introduced the kicker key in its previous iteration and the iteration now, one of the slides that they put up was you sell somebody a kicker key and you do an active front stage on it. So you have time aligned, EQ'd, all done, simple, boom. It's a little bit more than the Alpine amplifier, but you're getting auto EQ built into it, time alignment, all this other fun stuff that amp doesn't have. I would have never in a million years thought to use those Alpine brick amps for a preamp, because they're not that clean to begin with.
Right.
The new amp that they have, the new brick amp that goes on the ILX W650, is like powerful as shit and sounds great. But I still wouldn't use that as a preamp, because it's got a lot of power.
Why not use like a key lock?
Well, I mean, there again, it depends what we're trying to do. If he's using it as a line driver, I mean, personally, if we need a line driver, I'm just going to buy the auto control matrix. That's what it's designed for, you know, so. But the idea behind the kicker key was that, yes, is where I was going with this, is that there is a world where if you sell somebody a kicker key, or you buy a kicker key and you use it in your car and you love the way it sounds, but then you decide that I really want more power because I'm going to go bigger, then you use that as the line driver into your bigger, let's say 100 by 4 or 200 by 4 amplifier, and yeah, that's a perfectly acceptable thing to do. We took that and ran with it when we did the quad box. We had the kicker key 501, which I would never use for a line driver, but we did because we just turned down the output voltage on a lot, and plus we didn't want to pull it out and put in a key lock. We already had the key in there, so it was like, it's already EQ'd and done. Let's just turn the voltage down on it. The amplifier will take up to 10 volts of input. That cool kicker amplifier over in the wall over there, 2400.1. So boom, there we go. Turn the voltage down, put it in, use it as a line driver. It's already EQ'd and everything. And yeah, we got 2400 watts getting fed by a 500 watt amp. It was wonderful. It sounded great, as you guys know. We were breaking numbers, tearing that car apart. But not every amplifier would like that. So for example, when we switched it out to the amplifier that's next to that one, the Sound Digital, it didn't want that amount of voltage. It didn't have 10 volts of input capability. No. So it didn't like what we were doing to it at all, and it told us. So.
All right. What do you think about Convertible, the best box style?
Convertible best stock? It depends on the convertible.
Okay.
If there's a ski chute or something like that you can bring the box into the ski chute, totally you'd want to do that. If there is no way to get air inside the car, so like the Viper we did the other day, there's no that convertible.
So for example, like the Mustang, the Mustang has that metal,
but it doesn't go all the way back. So behind the seat is open.
Okay.
So you could, as long as you're pushing the subwoofer to where the sound can get into the car somehow, you're great. It's when there is no air at all. So think of it like yesterday, the BMWs. We had one BMW where there was a ski chute, so we could put a nice downfiring 212 box up underneath that, and if they pulled out the ski chute, they'd have tons of bass.
They have tons of bass, yes.
Till the top went down, and then it would go away. But then we did the other BMW where there was no ski chute. It was just that stupid little click. They're going to have no bass whatsoever in that car. That's why they had those little tiny subwoofers, little 8-inch subwoofers in the rear seat, because there's,
All right, and we're about...
No, we got another 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
Slow it down.
Thank you for the $4.99. Easy.
It's good stuff.
All right. Are you okay?
The 2 Morel 5-channel, is it enough power to push? Yeah. Yeah.
It is?
Yeah,
all right.
I think so. Okay.
All right. To set the gains, thank you for the $4.99, man.
All right.
To set the gains on the Wavetake bass processors, do you need to have the bass knob, turn it up all the way up in the processor?
Okay. It really doesn't matter whether you use a Wavetake or anything else. Think of it like this. The bass knob is simply just an extension of how you're going to run the system. Depends on the manufacturer and how the bass knob is designed. So, if your processor's bass knob is a plus dB, meaning like on an aftermarket radio, you have 0, then you have like plus 10, and then you have like minus 20. That is a plus dB rating. All right. If you set your gain overlap at 0 dB, at the 0 dB setting on that bass knob, and then you do negative 5 dB, and then you turn that up to 10, you've now just put a 15 dB bass boost into that subwoofer. All right, that's insanity, right? However, if you have an amplifier that has a subwoofer level control that is just from volume X down, then like Rockford amplifiers, for example, they tell you to unplug the bass knob because it's a 0 down point, meaning this is the maximum volume this amplifier is going to play, and the subwoofer volume control just turns you down from there. It doesn't go above. The reason why they have you unplug it when you're setting it is because just in case when you put it in, if you didn't have it turned all the way up. Always have the bass knob either unplugged or turned all the way up when setting the gains, all right? Unless it's a positive dB boost on the subwoofer level control, in which case have it at the level you plan on playing it at. So if you're going to be playing it balls to wall all day long like every person does, then yes, you need to have it turned all the way up.
All right. Hey guys, love the F-150 acrylic speaker mount.
Thank you.
You have done a stunning job. There is a question. What color code do you use for a 2- or 3-way speaker? Thanks.
What
color code? For example, like, you know, we'd say we're gonna use blue and white for the tweeter, and then gray and black for the mid bass.
So when we twist our wires together, we always stick to white, gray, green, purple. Black is always going to be negative for the biggest speaker in that. So if the mid bass if we're running a wire for the mid bass, it is always going to be black as the ground. So it'll be white, black, gray, black, green, black, purple, black. If there's a mid-range, meaning it's only a 2-way set, mid-range or a tweeter, then we will switch the black out for blue. So we will have blue or brown, depending on what we have more of at the time, but blue comes on a bigger roll than we can buy them in bigger rolls. So we'll go white, blue, gray, blue. Usually there's nothing going on in the rear. So that. Now for a tweeter, we'll switch that out to either yellow or red. There again, we picked red because it comes on a big roll. So we can buy big rolls of black, blue, and red. So those are the 3 wires we typically use for a ground. Now, when you're using red, yes, it screws with your head because you think, oh, that's got to be the positive. No, the positive is always the color of the channel you're using. So it'll be white, red, gray, red for the front. But that's how we design those when we're doing that. So you'll either see a brown, a blue, a yellow, or a red in those videos.
All right, El Fuego, thank you for the 5, man. What is the best way to integrate my T1005 into a non-amplified 2021 4Runner stock head unit?
Run it right into it, man.
Yeah.
Pick up a T harness from either iData, the DT01 maybe, or actually it's either if it's not amplified, it's probably going to be the DT01. But you know, that's a great question to ask, and we'll answer it like this. If we head over to the laptop, if you want to find a T harness for that particular car, first thing you want to do is of course pull the radio and see what the harness looks like. But then you can head over to iData and check out either the AT02, AT03, or the DT01. You can type that into the little search field and they'll pull up a picture of it, and then you can see if that matches the harness for your car. And or find a local dealer in your area that is an iData dealer and ask them if you can take a look at those harnesses and then kindly buy it from them.
Yeah.
But with that being said, hey, if you'd like to buy cool tools like we use, you got one more?
Oh yeah, we have 2 more, man.
All right, hold on.
You say something and everybody started like...
All right, go, hurry.
All right, Jeff, thank you for the 5, man. Are the DSP by the Kicker included on the BSS system any good? There's none to demo in person and they are not cheap. So can I build something like...
Yes. the answer to the question is yes, you can build something that's very similar for less money. The VSS systems for that are vehicle-specific systems were designed to sell at a car dealership. So if a customer comes in and you have a car on the lot that didn't get the premium sound package, you can sell them the VSS system for about the same amount of money, easily put it in. It's a plug and play. It goes in, it adds sub, new speakers. It's got a pre-tuned system to integrate into the factory. It's typically not something that anyone in these comments would be interested in. You could buy the regular line products such as the Kicker Key, the Key 200.4, the 500.1, integrate those things into a factory system and have way better success with your what you're trying to do for probably a little bit less amount of money. Back to question?
Yep.
No,
All right, next question. Yes, I have
you
this
said one more.
One more, yes. I'm trying to find it right here. 2017 Mustang. Can you connect the aftermarket A-pillar tweeter to the factory wire and then connect the
unused mid-range speaker wire to a passive crossover box?
Since they are running in parallel.
I don't know if that's worded to where it makes any sense, but basically what we would do in that is we would run our own tweeter wire. We wouldn't use the existing tweeter wire. We would, because we would grab the amplifier, pull it, unplug it. We'd get the iData harness for it, which is the AFO2 or AFO3. It's one of those two. And that's going to give us the mid-range wire, and it's going to give us the mid-bass wire. We would hook those up to the passive crossovers. Then we would run our new wire up to the tweeter. We would not use the existing. The wire you always want to run is the tweeter wire because that's the easiest one. It's in the A-pillar. There's no reason to screw with anything in the door. For one, it's next to impossible to run wires into those doors. So that's how we would hook up a set of passive speakers in that car. Or active, it doesn't matter. But we would let the mid-range be the primary factory wire and not the tweeter. And I wouldn't catch it at the tweeter and run it this way. Catch it at the amp and just go the right way.
All right, Ray, thank you for the 20, man. I sent you a message through the website a couple of weeks ago regarding whether you do a consulting or not. I have a 2019 F-150 XLT Super Coupe with no factory upgrade system, only touchscreen, satellite radio. Did you see my message?
Probably not. Depends which website you sent it through. If you sent it to Paul at the 5-star Gmail, or if you send it through the website, the 5-star Car Stereo website, he may have gotten it. That doesn't mean I've seen it. If you tried to reach out to me through social network, I can guarantee you I didn't see it because I don't really check those because I can't. There's way too many of them.
Yeah.
The best thing to do is reach out to Paul at 5starcarstereo@gmail.com, and from there it will eventually make it onto my desk and we can figure out what you want to do.
What I definitely recommend you is actually put all the information of your car, like 2019 F-150 XLT, what are you trying to do, and that would be easier.
We can streamline the question.
Yes.
A phone number where we can contact you.
Oh, your email and all that stuff.
And then we can go from there. It usually takes me about a week to get back to somebody, but that would be the best start for trying to figure out what kind of what your thought process is and how you want to run it.
All right.
We're good? We're caught up?
Yep.
All right, guys. Back to that. Hey, if you want to use the cool tools like we do in all our installs, you can head over to DNF Tool Drawer, Dean and Fernando's Tool Drawer at dnfttooldrawer.com. That's dnfttooldrawer.com. Now, if you're interested in cool tools, make sure Tuesday you check out Kickers Unmasked Live, where I'll be co-hosting along with Kip, or I'll be the guest, I should say, along with Kip. We're going to talk about tools. We'll be here. I'll have my toolbox. We'll talk about all the cool tools it takes to do installations. So, like, what's in this drawer, we'll talk about, I hope. So that ought to be fun. If you want to have cool swag, like, you know, cool names on it, like Maestro sent us these shirts because they're the sponsor of the show today, then you want to head over to Teespring. That's teespring.store/5star, where you can find our cool swag. We have nice, cool stuff. Hold on.
Yep.
Where are they at? I don't know. T-shirts and fun stuff. Stores. There we go. This is what happens when you start late. Yeah, there we go.
Nice.
All right, so here you go. Do you even zip tie, bro? One of the most popular ones. Of course, you can get the Jeff Smith T-shirt. I should wear that tomorrow. I know Jeff Smith.
Yeah.
We're going to be standing in a parking lot watching people get their cars judged by him, so that ought to be a lot of fun. But yeah, that's it. It is Saturday night, guys. You know what that means on Saturday night? You know what it means to be on Saturday night? I mean, it means nothing to us other than we don't have to work tomorrow, so I like to tell myself that I get to sleep in, but
yeah,
I don't, and it sucks. But
yeah.
Hey, we got a lot of nice shows scheduled for you next week. And if you want to see them, make sure you're smart tonight. Don't do anything stupid. If you need to do something stupid, though, take an Uber, take a Lyft, wear a mask, be safe. This is almost over, guys. The light is at the end of the tunnel. At least that's what they keep telling us. Some of you guys may have already even got your shots.
Yep.
Luckies? I don't know.
Oh, luckies.
All right, guys. You have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you.
We'll see you guys. We'll see you Monday.
Thank you, Ben.
Don't forget, Monday we'll be back to the new format on Facebook. We'll have a topic to talk about.
Yes.
And of course, we'll have a product or something that we think is really cool to talk about. Excited about that. We'll see you guys on Monday.
Bye, guys.
Bye.